It was the fall after graduation. I just moved into a small rental house outside Asheville. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. I liked the quiet. No roommates. No neighbors close enough to hear anything. The place had a detached garage and a weird little gravel path that led around the side of the house. I didn't think much of it. The first few nights were normal. I cooked, watched movies, kept the windows open for fresh air. But around the fourth night, I started noticing little things. My toothpaste was in a different spot. A glass I don't remember using was in the sink. I assumed I was being careless, until I found the bathroom window unlocked. I never opened that window. I locked it, shut the curtain, and told myself it was just one mistake. I checked the rest of the house. Everything else was locked. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept listening for something. I didn't hear anything, but I didn't stop checking the hallway every hour. At some point, I fell asleep with the lamp on. Next day, I bought a small door alarm. It chirped when opened. I put it on the bathroom window, just in case. That night, I left the light off and tried to relax. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to a soft chirp. I sat up. The room was silent. I didn't move. I waited. Then, maybe 2 minutes later, I heard the sound of the bathroom sink. Just a drip. 1 drop. Then 2. I got out of bed and walked to the bathroom slowly. I didn't turn on the light. I opened the door just a crack. Nothing. Then I noticed the curtain. It was pulled shut. I always left it open. I stood there staring at it for what felt like a full minute. Then I reached for the light. I flicked the switch. Nothing. The bulb had blown. Still, I didn't move. I just whispered, "Get out of my house." Nothing happened. I backed out, closed the door, grabbed my keys, and left through the front door. Sat in my car. Locked it. Called the cops. I didn't go back inside. When the cops arrived, they found no one. But they did find something. In the space between the tub and the wall, hidden behind the curtain, there was a pile of clothes. Not mine. Men's jeans, a hoodie, a balled-up pair of socks, all soaked, like someone had been living in the damp. They didn't find a weapon. They didn't find signs of forced entry. Just that window. Open again. They figured whoever it was ran when I left the house. I stayed with a friend after that. Moved out 2 weeks later. I still don't know how long he was hiding in there, or how many nights he watched me sleep. This happened during the first winter I spent alone. I was renting a farmhouse outside Ithaca. It was old, slanted floors, creaky doors, single-pane windows. The kind of place where you hear noises and blame the wind. I worked remotely, so I barely left. The house had an attic, but the door to it was sealed shut. No knob. Just paint and a few rusted nails. I didn't care. I had no reason to go up there. My office was the back bedroom. The living room had a fireplace I never used. Every night I fell asleep with a podcast playing. Background voices made the house feel less empty. Around early December, I started hearing something else. It was always after 1 a.m. A soft bump from above, then silence. At first, I assumed it was snow falling from the roof, but it kept happening, and only once per night. A single thud. I went outside to check for tree branches or animals. Nothing. No prints in the snow. One night, I stood in the hallway beneath the attic door. Waited. At 1:14 exactly, the bump came. Louder this time. I stared at the ceiling. Then, a voice. Faint. Just one word. "Hey." I froze, didn't breathe, waited, nothing else. Just the wind pushing through the drafty walls. I convinced myself it was the podcast. Maybe it bled through the Bluetooth speaker late. I checked the audio history the next morning. Nothing matched. That night, I left everything off. No sound, no distractions. I sat in bed with the lights out, staring at the ceiling. Again, at 1:14. Thump. Then, 2 seconds later. Hey! Clearer, almost amused, like someone trying to get my attention. I stood up, walked into the hallway. The attic door was still sealed, but now I could see a faint line of dust disturbed along the baseboard, like movement. I grabbed a kitchen chair, stood on it, and listened. Nothing. No breathing, no creaking, just cold silence. I didn't sleep. Next morning, I called the landlord, asked if anyone had ever accessed the attic. He said, "Not for years. That place is sealed tight." I asked if there was a way to get in from outside. He laughed. "Only if you're a raccoon with a crowbar." That night, I sat under the attic door with my phone camera recording. Midnight passed, then 1:14. The sound came. Thump. I held my breath. Then the voice. This time it said, "I see you." I jumped up and turned the hallway light on. Nothing. The ceiling was still. I watched the video the next morning. The audio caught it. Thump. Then those 3 words, low and clear. "I see you." But there was something else. A second voice, whispered just before the main one. Now. Like a cue. Like it wasn't alone. I packed up that evening. Left most of my things behind. Drove to my sister's place in Albany. I mailed the key back to the landlord and told him I wasn't coming back. He didn't argue. I still have the video. I've shown it to 2 people. Both asked the same question. Who's the second voice? I don't know. I never opened that attic. I was living alone for the first time in a basement studio apartment. It was in a quiet part of Spokane, beneath a house owned by an older woman who barely spoke. The entrance was down a narrow set of concrete steps in the backyard. No one could see the door unless they walked right up to it. I liked the privacy. The place was cheap, quiet, and always cold, even during heat waves. At first, I thought it was perfect. I worked late shifts at a gas station, usually getting home around midnight. The neighborhood was silent by then. I'd walk through the yard in the dark, unlock the basement door, and go straight to bed. It was routine, comfortable. For the first month, I didn't hear or notice anything strange. Then one morning, I woke up and my toothbrush was on the counter. Not in the holder where I always kept it. It happened again a few days later. This time, one of my shoes had moved from beside the door to the foot of my bed. I assumed I'd done it half asleep, but things kept shifting. My TV input changed by itself, a spoon in the sink I didn't remember using. One night I came home to find the front window cracked open. I never opened that window, not once. I shut it, locked it, and pushed the curtain tight. I couldn't explain it. I started placing strips of masking tape over the doorframe when I left. Just tiny tabs, easy to miss. Twice I came home and found them peeled. No damage, just gone. I texted the landlord. She insisted no one else had keys and warned me not to bother her with ghost stories. That was her phrase. Her tone was sharp, like she'd heard it before. That night, I dragged a chair under the knob and wedged it tight. I slept with the bathroom light on. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up to a sound, not from outside, from inside the apartment. One knock, hollow, muffled. It came from the closet across the room. I sat up, staring into the dark. I didn't move, didn't reach for my phone. I just listened. The knock didn't repeat. I stared at the closet door until the sun started rising. When I finally stood up, I opened the closet slowly. Nothing. Just my coats. A storage box. But the box was shifted. Behind it, on the wall, was a long vertical scratch. Fresh, exposed plaster. I packed 2 bags that morning and left. Stayed at a friend's place on the other side of town. I told her I'd had a break-in. I didn't explain. A few days later, I got a voicemail from the landlord. Said the new tenant had left after 2 nights. Heard scratching in the walls? She said, almost amused. Thought maybe it was rats. I deleted the message. I never went back. Didn't bother getting my deposit. Sometimes, when I'm lying in bed, I still think about that knock. How calm it sounded. Not frantic. Not aggressive. Like someone reminding me they were there. Like someone waiting for me to open the door